Hello and welcome to round 8 of the Division 3 Championship here in the FRS. And it's a bit gloomy out there today as we're in Spa-Francorchamps. I'm joined by Instinct. Instinct, how you doing?
Doing great. Interesting race in real life today. Hoping for the same in this division today.
Yeah, we've had rain in a couple of the other divisions, and certainly Spice have made everything a bit interesting. So if we look towards the championship, we can see that Stoggs is now in the lead of the championship. So I believe last week it was Air Jordan, but he has lost the championship in the last couple of races. Stoggs is now in the lead, 92 points. Just behind him, Massey on 80. Air Jordan is a little bit further down now, so he is, what's that? 19 points, I think, in total behind Stoggs. Then we've got on the same amount of points, we've got Knack Track, who did quite well last race, and then there's a little bit of a gap to fifth place Wrecker. Renault still at the top of the Constructors' Championship, at least in this division, but we have got that interdivisional championship that everyone is quite excited about. And so the results will carry over from this race into that.
Maybe we will see a change today as only Air Jordan is driving today as Wrecker's sitting out this one, I think.
Yeah, that is true. We've got Ferrari just behind, 26 points behind, and we've seen that both Jinxie and obviously Massey, who's second in the championship, are great on pace. So we've got the first guy out. That's Gali. He's on a hot lap now. So we'll see what kind of times he can set. Everyone looks like they're out. I suppose that's perfectly normal. But if there's any rain scheduled, then they'll want to get out in there and set a lap before the track starts to get a little bit slippery. And we watch on board now as he
Massimo on
completes the first
the
flying lap.
medium tires on his first lap. Everyone else on the softs.
Who was that on the mediums?
Massi.
Massey, interesting. So in Division 1, we had Division 2, we had rain predicted sort of halfway through the race. So some people decided they'd rather start on mediums. Some people rather take the risk on softs. But of course, if the rain does come down sort of 2-3 laps after the soft tires start to run out, then the balance is shifted towards those starting on medium tires. And Iron's out. And let me have a look on board of one goal. I think he might have.
Eau Rouge took
He's
its first victim today.
on the exit of Eau Rouge. He's binned it. Ah, that's a shame for him. Well, he'll get a new set of tyres to start the race on, at least. As we see Gali coming down hard braking zone into the bus stop chicane. And it's very easy to spin up the rear tyres in this track. Very high, sort of low downforce track. And he's set a banker at a 142.7. Immediately, 0.3 is taken off of that by Fuki 90. And the Velociraptor just behind. So we're seeing them all across the line now. Stoggs, there he is, 41.9. So first one into the 41s. And then we look down the order. Where is Massey? He's coming up to the bus stop chicane now. And what can Massey do against Stoggs' time? We haven't got the sector splits. We'll just have to wait and see as he crosses the line. Does he take pole? Oh, he's miles behind.
On the mediums.
Oh, and the mediums, of course. Yes.
Just a note,
So,
we have returning reserve driver, one goal, one dream. In the McLaren today. Last week we had him in the Red Bull. And Cooney Skills is returning after, I think, 2 or 3 weeks of absence from this division.
yes, we're not seeing a lot of Cooney, obviously, over the weeks, but he did really well in the championship to begin with. So if I can bring it up, I can actually tell you some of his results. He had a 3rd place in the opening race. He had a 2nd place in the second race. Then it looks like 13th in Italy. Don't totally remember exactly what happened. A couple of DNFs, a couple of DNSs. So maybe he wants to get back onto form. Hopefully he's had enough time to practice. And we look on board Knack Track now. So Knack Track a little bit further back than everyone else. But he's going to hopefully be looking to set a time that's more comparable to Stoggs than to Massey. Obviously, he's on those soft tyres and Massey was on the mediums. I think, to be honest,
second
Massey...
sector.
Oh yeah, he's gone purple, hasn't he? So... I think if Massey wants to start outside the top 10 or on medium tyres, he's just got to try and aim to qualify outside the top 10 because the mediums obviously are not working for him. Here comes Knack Track in the heavy braking zone. He was purple in sector 2. Is he purple in sector 3? Can he go fastest overall as he comes down to the line now? And he's gone second. Wow, not by much. 0.2 in it. And we'll have to see. It looks very dark on track. It certainly looks ominous for maybe wet weather. We'll have to see if they've got enough time to go out there and set another lap. It doesn't look like we've got too many people out on track at the moment. I'm not seeing any spits of rain myself.
From what I can see in chat, some race engineers are saying that Jeff told them that it's about to rain in 10 to 15 minutes. So
Right,
maybe later on in the session we might see some drops here and there.
Well, give them a little bit of wet weather practice if there is scheduled to be rain in the race, which we don't know at the moment. Cooney, well, he looks like is he on an out lap? Yes, so
Yeah,
he's
he
going to be
is.
crossing the line now to start his flying lap. So we'll watch on board with him, see what he can do compared to some of the other guys. We have got a couple of people out on track who are probably going to be hoping to do another flying lap. Cooney messes up the first corner a little bit, runs a little bit deep, and then almost cuts back too much. We'll have to see how that compromises his run.
As per chat, it's a dry race.
Right, so it looks like a dry race. A bit of a shame. Always fun to see a bit of rain at Spa, but this is the division that always keeps on giving. So I think, regardless of the weather, I think we'll see a lot of action on track, and maybe a bit of action off of the track. And Cooney, just some of his lines were a little bit questionable. I wonder if he's had as much practice as maybe he'd hoped for. I don't think he's going to be up there with the likes of Stoggs and Track. Maybe, hopefully for his sake, a bit more mid-table.
Maybe getting some slipstream in the third sector. He's closing up to some cars on their outlap now.
Yes, there's a Renault just ahead of him. That must be Air Jordan. The game is saying he's gone purple in the middle sector. Oh, has he? Yeah.
It says so on my screen as well, but I'm
But it
not
also
sure.
said Fuki 90 has the fastest lap, which from the timing screens we can see that he doesn't.
Oh, and he's
Oh, and
held
Air
up by a
Jordan's
Jordan.
compromised him.
No,
Oh, and
that's
that's
bad.
yeah, that's a penalty there for someone, and a ruined lap for Cooney. That's a shame. It would have been interesting to see where he was in terms of the time. But yeah, he's gotten that all kinds of wrong. And here comes Stoggs now. Coming to the line, he is going to set a second lap now. So we'll have to see on board what he can do. I think Gali is already on a hot lap, so we'll flip back and forth between them. I'll keep you updated for Stoggs, and you'll
Jordan
be able
has
to
to watch
see.
out as to not get disqualified from the game right now. He's still standing in the bus stop.
Yeah, he's peeling into the pits now, and he's made contact with the wall. A bit disappointing for him. I think he probably knows he's going to get a fair penalty for that one, and I don't think there's too much he can criticise about that. Fuki though, up into third, so we did see it on the first flying lap, and I'm a little bit surprised because we've not seen Fuki 90 up in these kind of positions
The
before.
Velociraptor's gone round in the second sector and is stuck on the grass now.
Oh yeah, very very odd to see. And here comes Gali now. So Gali come through the last couple of corners. Velociraptor has retired, but Gali coming across the line now. Can he improve? If so, by how much? And he's up into third. So he's pushed Fuki 90 out of those podium positions, but here's Stoggs now. He's on the run down. He's 3/10 down at the moment. I don't know if he'll even continue this lap. It'll be up to him to decide. And Lord Volk has gone third.
Massey
Lord
purple
Volk.
in the second sector, up by almost 6/10 on his previous best.
And Stoggs is into the pits. So Stoggs realizes he can't do anything about it, peels into the pits, hopefully to put on some new soft tyres and get another lap or two out quickly. And Andrew Orthodox jumps up into second then. And here
Sienna
comes
Bob
Matthew around the
retired.
last corner. And yes, Sienna Bob's retired out of Stavilo too. Here comes Matthew across the line, and he's only 8th. So he's 7/10 off his championship rival. And we'll look down the order. What on earth happened to Sienna Bob? Maybe just got it all wrong out of Stavilo too. Sometimes you can just get too much power down. Here comes Jinxie across the line, and he's gone up into 8th. Yeah, sometimes you can just get too much power down out of Stavilo too. You try and put it on too early, and then it all goes wrong. And I think that's what happens with Sienna Bob. Hopefully, better luck in the race. But the two Red Bulls out after making contact, and we've also seen the Velociraptor 4 out. Due to what I assume was a bit of a glitch there, getting caught on the curb, maybe in between the grass and the track. Maybe beached his car. Not really sure about that.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, there are some drops of rain right now. At least on my screen, following Massimo's onboard.
Yeah, so we're getting tiny spits of rain. Cooney Skills is currently on an out lap. That's not going to help him as he crosses the line now to start his flying lap. He's just going to have to hope that the rain isn't coming down too much. So it looks like unless there's anyone behind that can challenge him. It looks like Stoggs is on pole from Andrew Orthodox, from Nakchak, from Lord Volk. Lazo is retired, doesn't see any
Think in the pits, yeah.
in the pit, so he doesn't see any reason to come back out now that the rain is coming down. We'll have to see on Cooney's onboard what kind of times he's able to set in these conditions. There's not too much water on the track, but it's not going to help him. It's going to feel a little bit slippery, and it may cause him to invalidate. We'll have to see about that. It doesn't look like it's really doing him any harm at the moment. I've not seen him spin up the tyres. As Fuki 90 also retires, again, doesn't see any need to keep this up. As he comes through Puon now into the chicane, and again, it seems like he's doing all right. He's not. It doesn't look too treacherous, so hopefully he'll be able to finish this lap, get a fairly representative time on the board. But you can see now there's actually quite a bit of rain coming down, and I think once he crosses the line, I think that's it for the rest of them. I don't see anyone improving, which means that the two Ferraris start down in 8th and 9th. So we were saying they were hoping to maybe eclipse Renault for this race, but Air Jordan actually starting in front of both of them, and none of them will have free choice of tyres. As Cooney comes across the line now, he does improve. He does get a lap on the board. He is only up into 15th though, and oh yeah, very wide in turn 1. But I think that is it now for qualifying. Got a couple of cars coming
Think
across the line.
Stoggs still trying to do a lap? He had his out lap but didn't abandon and is on a hot lap right now.
Yeah, so we'll be able to see what Stoggs' time is at the moment on this track. He is currently pole. Doesn't look like anyone else is going to give it a go.
Also still on an out lap just now, so maybe he tries to go as well.
As we come up to the first sector split, right around now, he's only 2/10 down. Now, sector 1 is mostly a straight line. It'll be sector 2 that will. Oh, and he's backed out. So he must have known through those couple of corners that he wasn't going to do himself any favors. But interesting, actually, some of the guys that have come out now, because they will not have as many unused soft tires as those that have decided to just do 1 or 2 laps. Massey's only done 1 fast lap on the softs. Is he out on track? He is out on track, actually. So I tell a lie. It looks like he's just out doing an out lap. So maybe just going to rubber those soft tires in for the race. We're not too sure, but we'll have to see how it all unfolds. And we see the two of them there. So the championship leader and his closest rival, that's Stoggs, followed by Massey in the championship. As Massey comes now around the last chicane, is he going to dive into the pits or is he going to go for it? Oh, he's going to go for it.
Going for it. Maybe he noticed the big error in his first flying lap and thinks that he can do better even with the drops of rain.
Well, as I said, there are drops of rain, but it doesn't look like anything more than that. We're not seeing any standing water on track. Maybe the track is a little bit damp, but maybe it isn't wet. And maybe the pace is
And
still
he's
there.
invalidated.
Oh, he's invalidated already. So we've got another minute and a half.
Starting grid then. Already.
Yeah, so Stoggs in the lead. Andrew Orthodox close behind. We've got Nakchak less than 100th behind. Oh, just over 100th behind him. Lord Volk, not didn't expect him to be as high as he was, but good on him and good luck for the race. We've got Gali down in 5th, Fuki in 6th. Again, I think a lot better than he's done before. Then we've got some of the usual candidates. We've got Air Jordan, we've got Jinxie, we've got Massey, we've got the Velociraptor 4, we've got Lamb Chop in 11th, we've got Sienna Bob in 12th, 1 goal, unfortunately not 7 seconds faster than everyone this race. He is down in 13th, Hamelin in 14th, Cooney 15th, Ferron in 16th, Lazo and Ian 17th and 18th. And Lord Volk going for it, but I think at this point, um, it's more practice than it is anything. They're just kind of doing a lap, seeing how the conditions are, and seeing maybe if the wet, if there is wet track during the race, maybe they'll see what that feels like on these soft tires. So qualifying is over. We're now into overtime as we're waiting for a couple of the drivers to make themselves round. Got two McLarens out. We've got a Williams out as well.
Maybe looking for that sweet screen time right now.
Yeah, maybe it's all just a marketing ploy as we sit here watching on board the one goal as him and Lord Volk.
Just cruising around.
Pretty much, yeah. And I wonder if they are just checking to see where the grip is and how it does feel in the wet conditions, just in case there is that chance for rain. I hope so myself. Always love to see a bit of rain, and it's always great around Spa, to be honest. So, based on those qualifying times, have we got any predictions for the race? Maybe the guys in chat would like to give a prediction. I can always bring that up and see what those guys are talking about. Anything from yourself, Instinct?
Hard to say. I think Stock's obviously a favorite with pole position. Also, considering his pace in the last few races, he's done a great job there. Kind of disappointed in Massey, to be honest. Maybe he will have a charge through the field, maybe set himself a challenge or something after dominating the last races. So we'll see what he can do. Air Jordan a bit higher up than Massey, maybe trying to get back into the title fight for Div 3. I'm happy to see Gali up there. It's always quick in qualifying, has some issues in the race. Hopefully he can do something great this time around.
Yeah, Carly's one of those guys that's always had the pace up there. Never quite gotten a race win. He was second in Mexico, but he's just not been able uh, to get up there and win it for Williams. So hopefully, maybe a bit of a change of pace for him. Um, and yeah, so we've got Stoggs on pole. I don't know if it's going to be similar to Bahrain, where he just kind of led from the start and pretty much dominated. Hopefully not. Hopefully we see a bit more racing, but it'll be interesting to watch on board with Messi, as he should, in theory at least, carve his way through up into the podium positions.
Strategy wise, I guess the top 10 obviously on the soft to medium strat, which should be possible around here, and the guys who qualified outside of the top 10 maybe doing it the other way around from mediums to softs.
Yeah, so obviously, as we said, there's always a chance of rain. I've heard a couple of people typing in chat that the chance is zero. I refuse to believe it myself, as we see the light come on to indicate formation lap, and it looks like one of the Haas drivers there's jumped the gun a little bit.
And
But
as I said, top 10, even Lamb Chop in 11th on softs. Other than that, everyone in mediums except for Farron in 16th on the soft tires.
yes, so yeah, Lamb Chop and Ferron deciding maybe to use the soft tire to jump ahead, maybe grab themselves back on to terms that are more familiar. But everyone else seems to be on the medium tires outside the top 10. So we'll have to see how it goes. Obviously, they get fresh soft tires. Do Lamb Chop and Ferron, um, and the guys in the front will not. So Lord Volk up in a good position. Interested to see what he can do. Same with Fuki. Air Jordan is going to want to get back onto winning terms. Had a really strong start of the season, and then the last couple of races, I can just bring up the standings on here, but they've not been brilliant. He didn't finish in Bahrain, had a bit of an incident, and then seventh place in Austria. Fourth, but fastest lap in Mexico. That was a brilliant recovery drive. Azerbaijan was fifth, but in Brazil and Italy at the start of the season, he was first and second. So hopefully he can turn it around this race, but we'll have to wait and see. He's got both Ferraris breathing down his neck. Not at the moment though; they're leaving a bit of a gap in the formation lap, but they will be during the race. So T1, turn one in Spa, La Source. Always rife with a bit of argy-bargy, bit of contact. We'll have to see what happens there as they come down now towards Blanchimont to finish up this formation lap.
Will we see a retirement through Eau Rouge and Radion in lap 1? What do you think? I guess Mark's gone for now.
Sorry about that. I'm back, and we are waiting for the start of the race. Sorry, I have no idea what you said. I was fiddling with my microphone. So, what was it that was asked of me?
Retirement through Eau Rouge Radion lap 1. What do you think? Will this happen?
Oh, hopefully not. But always love to see cars trying to go 3 wide through a corner that even 2 wide is not acceptable. So here come the lights. 3, 4, 5. They're all on, and they're off, and it's go. We see a lot of cars getting away quite well. No one appearing to get a particularly bad start, as we've got the Alfa Romeo driver coming up on the inside of Andrew Orthodox. A little bit of contact, but Stoggs is away nice and clean, and that's going to help him. We've got Track, I believe that is, in second place, followed by Andrew Orthodox and Lord Vault behind. Unfortunately, the timing screens are all out of whack, so won't be able to see really what any of that means. But here comes Andrew Orthodox. He's going to make a move on Track just behind him. He's not quite close enough, and I think he thinks better of it. And there behind is Air Jordan trying to make a move on the Alfa Romeo ahead of him of Fuki, and Air Jordan has gotten past Fuki. And here comes one of the Ferraris behind him. Again, no idea really which one it is. It might be Massey. It looks like it is Massey. I think so. Massey's gained at the start, and Fuki's gotten past Air Jordan. So Fuki gets back past Air Jordan. Massey just behind him, up into. I think the timer screens are correct now, so 8th position. Jinxie made a mistake at the start, and the Velociraptor has gotten past him. Sienna Bob losing out of position to both Hamlin and to Lamb Chop, and there goes Hamlin through, but Sienna Bob has fought back to him. So Stoggs first, Natrak second, and Fuki's picked up a penalty already. Oh, he's off the track. And Fuki having a terrible start, and so Air Jordan is promoted up in 7th, but Massey has been promoted up into 6th place then. And so that is a flyer of a starting lap from Massey. He's up into 6th. Stoggs leads Natrak, who's gained a position on Andrew. Lord Volk in 4th. Garley not making any inroads in 5th. Massey making a lot of inroads in 6th. Air Jordan behind in 7th. Here comes the Velociraptor looking on the inside there of the Renault. Oh, he's very close, and he's going to have a chance here through Eau Rouge. And as they make their way down the Kemmel Straight, and Fuki is just behind as well. So Fuki very close to the Velociraptor in front.
And the timing screen's all out of order again, and I think that might be Arjen, who already had an incident in qualifying through Radion.
So from bad to worse for the Red Bull guys. Sienna Bob dropped a couple of places. Iron dropped a lot of time there. So unfortunately, Yeah, so Jinxie must have had an incident then at the start because he is now way down on the rest of them. We've got a yellow flag as we've got Lord Volker's gone round and he's into the and it's Gali as well. So they've made
Collected with
contact.
Gami.
And we were
Unfortunate, he
saying,
can't get a break.
oh, we were saying that Gali always ends up somehow uh, not just not being able to do what he can do in qualifying in the race. And it's bad to worse for him. So he's got no front wing. At least Lord Volk has got a front wing still attached. Not a lot of end plates on it, but Gali front wing is completely gone. So I wonder what happened there. If one of the cars spun round and the other made contact, a bit like what we saw in Div One. Virtual safety car is out. That is a call that I've called out way too late. I'm sure it's been out for quite a while, but this allows the soft runners to maybe have a little bit of time where they're not pushing on those tires. So they are able to keep some life into it. Hopefully, they've kept some heat into it as well as. Ooh, Andrew Orthodox makes a huge mistake there. Not into the wall, no contact, but a hell of a tank slapper.
Yellow flag, sector 1, who's that? Cooney, deep into La Source. With a bit of end plate damage for his front wing.
And that's a shame for him. So Stoggs is leading. Naktrack is very close behind. He's 6 tenths behind. He's well within DRS range. That tank slapper from Andrew Orthodox means that he is not now in DRS range. The incident between Lord Vulcan Gali has promoted Massey all the way up into fourth. So he's had an absolute cracker of a start. He obviously needs to. If Stoggs is going to win this race, Massey needs to minimise the damage that he will do in the championship. So he needs to finish as high as he can. He has got Air Jordan fairly close behind, but Massey is in clean air for a while now, so he's got time to catch up to Andrew Orthodox in front. But the front two are kind of peeling away now from the rest of them. Behind that, we've got Lords, we've got the Velociraptor in sixth, Lamb Chop down in seventh. Not too much action on track at the moment. But the real story here is Naktrack and Stoggs ahead. And Naktrack with a good exit out of the bus stop. He set the fastest lap so far, and if he can get a good exit out of La Source, he could be well up for an overtake down the Kemmel Straight. So he just needs to stay in his slipstream, keep it nice and tidy through Eau Rouge. There's always a chance with certain setups that there is a potential to spin.
Naktrack
But he's
deciding not to use his ERS.
so he is already down to 38%. In fact, him and Stoggs are on almost exactly the same amount of ERS usage. I wonder if Naktrack is playing it a little bit smarter and thinking about just staying in the DRS range and using the DRS to close up to a driver that maybe he thinks is a bit faster than him. We've seen the pace of Stoggs, and it is mighty. I mean, he's leading the championship, and he's doing so on merit. And I wonder if Naktrack thinks, yeah, let's just keep it clean for the first half of the race. Maybe once we've got on the medium tires, then I'll have a look at trying to overtake you. But
Fuki
either way,
again back into the pits with front wing
ah,
replacement.
shame for Fuki, to be honest. Really, really good qualifying. I'm hoping to see it um, converted into something, but obviously not. Here's Massey now. So Massey's starting to close up a little bit towards Andrew Orthodox. But the main fight really is for the first two positions. So Naktrack still within 6 tenths of a second. He's good on the traction zones, I think. So he gets a really good exit out of that corner, and he has done for the last couple of laps. Stoggs set the fastest lap of the race for just a brief split second. Um, but Naktrack immediately took that away from him. So Naktrack in a very good position now, 3 tenths behind. I can't imagine he's going to wait any longer. He's going to go for the overtake this lap, surely. Here comes Naktrack. We'll see his DRS open. ERS is in activation. Stoggs just about kind of moves to the side to try and stop him. but nothing really could do in the end. And that track does take the position away from Stoggs and now leads the race. And here we see the Velociraptor making a move on Air Jordan. And Air Jordan just, not able to brake late and take the position back. So Velociraptor really well done, up into fifth.
Fuki's gone around
Maxi.
again with wing damage and decides it's enough, I guess. Because he left the session
So Fuki's left the session, but his car is still
driving.
driving around.
Maybe connection issues as well for him.
And Knacktrack is immediately making he's taking a bit of a lead now on Stoggs.
Nine
So
tenths already.
yeah, the gap up to 9 tenths. If you can get this last couple of corners right, and especially the bus stop and how well he's been doing getting the power down out of the last corner, I think he could pull a whole 1 second gap. In fact, he has already pulled a 1 second gap towards Stoggs. So Stoggs really needs to nail the bus stop chicane if he has any chance of staying within DRS.
Nectrack using his ERS to keep stocks outside of the DRS window. So
So we see
he's
Stoggs come
almost out
round,
of it now, while
and
stocks is
he
on
is out.
half.
So I think we've got a detection zone. I think no, that's passed. I don't think there is a detection zone into La Source.
No, there's one
So,
just now
oh right.
in
So
front of
Stoggs has got a
Rouge.
chance, but he is out. He is out of DRS. Andrew Orthodox, he really is dropping back actually, and Massey is all over him now. As we see, Massey has got the DRS, and we're just waiting for him to essentially just pull out. Andrew Orthodox going a little bit defensive. Massey going to take the conventional line. Is Andrew going to brake late? No, he isn't. I think he realizes that Massey is a lot quicker than he is, and there's nothing he can do. Massey's gone purple in the first sector then.
Lamb Chop and Hamlin battling. Maybe a bit of contact there, but both wings still intact. Hamlin on
And
the
this is,
mediums, Lamb Chop on the softs. Maybe they are falling off already. Going
oh, and
really
Lamchop's
deep,
gone
and
wide.
Hamlin's gone past.
And is allowing Sienna Bob to catch up as well. So he's right behind, and he has overtaken Lamb Chop as well. So one virtual safety car, but no full-on full course safety cars so far. So that's interesting. I think a lot of these drivers, especially Lord Gali, Fuki, maybe even a couple of the others, will be hoping that there might be a full safety car just to bring them back into contention. But as we see, yeah, Knacktrack pulling a little bit of a lead on Stoggs, and now Stoggs and Massey, the two championship leaders, are now next to each other on position on track. And there's only 3.5 seconds separating them. Massey has set the fastest lap of the race, so he's certainly closing up to the back of Stoggs. 2.5 seconds now, the gap.
Sienna Bob is closing up to Hamlin. Let's see if he can get into DRS range. Maybe go for the overtake.
Yeah, so I think he's in. These two are leading for the medium runners, so they are potentially in contention for the race win. We'll have to see how that unfolds as the race goes on. Here comes Sienna Bob closing up, closing up, closing up, pulls back onto the racing line. Is Hamlin going to brake late? Was he going to let Sienna Bob go? He has let him past. He thinks maybe I'll just hang on, see if I can get him in the next couple of corners. Runs very wide there, but Sienna Bob has made the position. So Sienna Bob, first of the medium runners in 7th position, very good for him. Ian quite a bit behind after his calamitous start. And we see one goal all over the back of Lazo as well. As Lazo a bit far off from his teammate up in 2nd, but he's going to be wanting to defend from one goal, who had a brilliant race last time. Stoggs has got himself back into DRS actually, just in the time that we've been talking. So maybe he senses the urgency from Massey behind. They're all using their ERS quite a lot, so they're all sort of down into 30%. And he's going to hope to get the DRS on that track, maybe help himself along. And Massey's kind of dropped 3 tenths in that last lap to the guys in front. So we're coming up to the pit window, I guess.
The Raptors into the pits. Going for
And
the
that
mediums, I'd guess. Maybe a lap or two early. I'm not sure if the lap counter on the timing tower is correct at this point. Onto the mediums
right.
for
So
him.
yes, Velociraptor into the pits. Hopefully looking to do the undercut on some of the drivers. He's come out actually behind Ian, which is not ideal.
Well, he gets the DRS now, though, so
He
maybe
will
he
get
can
the
go
DRS
past. He's
if he
really
can pass
close
him
to him.
quickly. If he can pass him quickly, he'll be in a very good position. But if he manages to no, so I think he has gotten past. I think Ian knows it's not really his race. He's not going to gain anything by slowing down the Velociraptor. So it just kind of allows him to keep that one. So will anyone respond? Where was the Velociraptor on track? I believe he was in fourth place, fifth or fourth.
In fifth, he was just in front of Air Jordan. Maybe 2
So
seconds of a gap.
so we're going to see, does Andrew Orthodox respond to this? Was he going to pit at this lap anyway? And Fuki has rejoined, so maybe it was just connection issues. And maybe connection issues was the problem the whole time. Here we see the leaders come around. Natrak is into the pits, so is Stoggs. So 1 and 2 into the
Matthew
pits. Here comes
staying
Matty.
out.
Matty's staying
Andrew
out.
also in.
So Massey maybe hoping he's
Air
got a bit
Jordan
more
also
life.
coming in. Sienna Bob staying out. Hamlin staying out, of course, on the mediums. Lamb Chop in. Did he hit his swing? Think he made some contact with the wall there.
And so Natrak comes out in the de facto lead of the race. He's going to come out behind Hamlin. So these guys have yet to pit. Sienna Bob in second and Hamlin in third. And Natrak, the de facto leader of the race, is in fourth. Massey's really got to give it some well if he has any. Oh, Velociraptor is
The
out and
Raptor's
he's
gone out.
crashed.
What's going on? Oh, Radio took the
Oh, and he's
victim.
crashed through Radion. He's
PSC
into the
now.
wall. I don't quite see his point of view or his car, but it looks like he's just kind of lost it at the top of the hill there.
Yeah, the
We'll
fresh
see as
tires.
the McLaren comes out. Yeah, he's just
Maybe not up
maybe
to temperature yet, so maybe went a bit too
yeah.
fast into these hard and tricky corners.
And we've got a virtual safety car, which isn't really going to help anyone, unless it's long enough for Massey to pit. And I don't think it is. And I think the virtual safety car is over. And if Massey, actually, sometimes you can time the safety car quite well. So Massey was at the start of a long straight. So he hasn't lost out too much. Maybe some of the other drivers have. So as we see Massey come around now, he's going to dive into the pits. Will he be able to jump up in position? He was running in third. He's coming into the pits now. And we'll have to see what whether that's helped him out or not. So we'll have to look at some of the other guys. So there's Sienna Bob, second place, Hamlin in third, and we can see all Stoggs and Naktrack very close to each other. Here's Naktrack in fourth place,
I think they're
Stoggs just
gonna
behind in
pass
fifth,
him.
and Massey's coming out of the pits now, and I think they've both gotten past. So Naktrack and Stoggs
Maybe behind
both
the
hold
medium
position.
runners.
And here comes one goal, one dream, and he is behind Massey. So Massey keeps what is essentially third place. And in fact, the gap remained almost exactly the same. So him staying out one more lap didn't hurt him at all, which means that he will have slightly fresher medium tyres than the two cars ahead of him. Whether or not that will help him, we'll
As
have to wait and
Track
see.
has gone past Hamlin on the fresher tires. Lazo also passed one goal.
And here comes Stoggs now onto Hamlin. Naktrack looking to make a move on Sienna Bob, who is leading this race at the moment. Sienna Bob has got a time penalty. A lot of the guys behind have not. So Naktrack just wants to get past as quickly as possible, but Sienna Bob has no obligation to let him past. So we'll have to see what Sienna Bob does. For him, it's just damage limitation. So if he can just keep the same line, basically, and ignore the faster car behind him, that is essentially what will help him out the most. So it is for Nat Track really to make the move on Sienna Bob. Uh, Stoggs as well, not yet gotten past Hamlin, but we'll have to see for Nat Track.
Oh,
He'll have the ERS in activation. Surely he does not,
side by sides,
and Stoggs
and
is
Stock's
past
gone
Hamlin.
past.
But Nat Track not able to get past Sienna Bob and not willing to use his overtake button
Yeah,
to
I
try and
think he
mount an
wants to
attack, and
play it
that's
safe and do it on the camel straight.
well, what that's done is allowed Stoggs to close up within 3/10 of him now, 3/4. So we'll ride on board with Stoggs, and we'll kind of see how this all shapes up, or how this all goes together. Nat Track very close to Sienna Bob, but Stoggs very close to the back of both of them. So they will both get DRS. Unlikely that Stoggs will make a move on Nat Track, as we see yellow flags in one of the
Andrew's gone
Andrews.
round after or in the pit exit.
So Nat Track is through. Will Stoggs make a move as well? He's not close enough to do so himself.
That will cost him a lot of time.
Yeah, so Knack Track has used the opportunity, but here comes Stoggs. He's quite close. He's going to late break. No, he doesn't. And he's definitely got more grip, and you
Yeah,
can
he's
see that.
getting hauled up massively by Sienna Bob right
You can
now.
see how much slower Sienna Bob is through the corners, and we'll see it through Pouon as well. Um, and we've got a one of the Williams is
Farron's
into
gone
the
round,
wall.
but his
Is
car's
he?
still completely intact.
And this has allowed Knack Track now to open up a second gap on Stoggs. So Stoggs is in third. Massey is closing up to him, so Massey only now 2 seconds behind. Massey's not quite able to get past or get into range of Hamlin at the moment, but Stoggs is still not past the Bob. Is he going to use his ERS to try and get past him, or is he going to have to wait until the source? We have no idea. Massey a little bit of a ways off. And Stoggs is again, yeah, not deciding to get past. And even Hamlin, I think Hamlin's starting to get a bit frustrated with him because he's fighting with Sienna Bob, and maybe Hamlin's going to try and mount a charge on Stoggs. If Stoggs doesn't get an absolute move on, he'll be a sitting duck for the cars behind. And Massey's now within a second and a half
Yeah,
of
Nektrek
Stoggs.
already with 2.5 seconds of a gap to Stocks. He's just driving away with the victory as of now.
And Stoggs now, finally, I think this is going to be it. He's got the DRS open. There's Sienna Bob in front of him. He is not using his ERS, but he won't need to because he has gotten past um, the Red Bull driver. So we see
Yeah,
now on
Jordan
board,
also passed Aryan on the camel straight.
we've got Hamlin and Sienna Bob fighting it out with each other. Neither of them have to yield to anyone behind them. Massey behind them will want to get past again as soon as possible, not to be held up. But how much of a difficult time are they going to give him with that? He was closing up to Stoggs. He's now starting to lose times. He's still about a second and a half behind, but that gap will be ever increasing. And if you can catch these guys in a more optimal part of the track, then he should be able to get past fairly easily and not lose too much time. But it looks like that isn't happening. Maybe he'll be able to get past both of them at the same time. We're not too sure. We'll have to wait and see. But so yeah, he's already now over 2 seconds behind. Stoggs over 2 seconds behind. Nat Track in front. So when Matthew does finally get past these two, they will have to close up without the artificial use of the DRS.
But he's gaining already like 5 tenths, maybe 4. So maybe Stock still has some speed in him. I think that's Farron gone round again.
Yeah. So
Another race to forget for the Williams boys, which is really sad to me.
yeah, Garley down in 14th. Such a shame. The two McLarens as well next to each other, 12th and 13th. After such a great race, and Hamlin's picked up a penalty actually, so he's now fighting Sienna Bob on position, I believe. And here comes Massey. Is he going to try and make a move on both of them? Hamlin goes up the inside, and he's not able to make a move on either of them. Oh, and this is a shame now for and we've got one of the, I think that's Cooney Skittles is into the wall, but here comes Massey now. Past Sienna Bob, he's going to make it past Hamlin as well. Surely he's going to break late. Hamlin does not want to give that position up. They're not really fighting each other. I mean, Hamlin will be massively far behind when he does eventually pit onto soft tires, but he's not going to make it easy for Massey. And I wonder if Massey should have been a bit bolder there and just thrown his car inside. He's not really under pressure from the guys behind. Air Jordan is still a ways behind, but you've got to think if you're Massimo, you just want to get past, uh, as quickly as possible. You really want to be
The
fighting
same
with Stokes.
situation we had a few laps earlier with Stocks wanting to go past the Red Bull from Sienna Bob.
And here comes Massey now. He's got the slipstream,
Keep it clean, boys.
and he's just going to go for it. Yeah, he's got the overtake open as well. A little bit of a lift through
Hamlin's
Blanchimont,
not
but Hamlin
giving up
wants to
though.
fight back towards it. He's going to
Backs out a little
try.
bit, but around the outside maybe.
And Hamlin holding on there. He really, really wants his position. And as they come through La Source now and up to Eau Rouge, I think Hamlin will have the DRS. And even though he's on those worn tyres, um, he won't be necessarily that much slower because it is a straight. However, the Alfa Romeo has come out in between them. That's going to hurt Hamlin. But Hamlin has gotten past him now. So as they come around, Hamlin will have the DRS open.
Sienna Bob
Massey's using
into the
all of his
pit
overtake.
now.
And Hamlin just not close enough. And I think now that we come to the tighter, trickier section of the track, I don't think there's anything that
Yeah,
Hamlin
the
can do
fresher
to
tires will
close back up to
take off
Massimo.
now. He doesn't have the same mechanical grip as Massey.
And now he is dropping back. So we look a bit further down the field. Andrew Orthodox looking to make up a couple of positions after not a start that he wants to remember. He is now down in 10th place. Sienna Bob has pit, by the way. So Sienna Bob pitted on the lap just gone and may get the undercut on Hamlin. So he will be able to repass Hamlin in the pit stop stage. He is on soft tyres now, so he's 2 seconds behind Andrew Orthodox. He will be looking to close up. That will put him into the points. He's then got a couple of guys that aren't too far ahead of him.
Yeah, we
I
still
think
have a lot
Ian
of
still needs to
guys in
pit.
the top 10 to pit. Hamlin, Lazo, Arjen, Jinxie all still have to pit.
So after Jinxie, Iron, Lazo, and Hamlin are down, that
Hamlin's
will
gone
promote
in, Lazo's
Sienna
going
Bob.
in as well.
Sienna Bob should be up into 7th place as
Arjen is
Ed
going in
Jordan
as well.
is promoted up into 5th.
Jinx is staying out, but still has to pit.
And then we'll have to see what kind of pace Sienna Bob has on those soft tyres. If he can close up. Stoggs is closing up to Knack track ahead now. So 1.7 seconds the gap. We'll keep an eye out on that. We'll watch the action on track, but we'll see if Stoggs can turn this into another race win. He's got 2 already. Can he grab a 3rd and put a little bit more distance in between himself and Massimo?
Maybe Nectrax also trying to do his
Oh, and
second race
contact there
win.
between Andrew Orthodox, and he's lost a couple of positions. He's lost the end plate on his front wing, and Sienna Bob desperately wants to get past him, but Andrew doesn't want to let him pass, even with the slightly compromised front wing and locking up.
And as that
And that
happens,
is
Fox
Hamlin behind
managed
him
to
as
pick
well. So
up the
Hamlin on the
penalty.
soft tyres, Sienna Bob just ahead of him in 8th place. These two are fighting for position, and they're both looking to get past Andrew Orthodox. Andrew Orthodox on medium tyres, the slower tyre. He's run wide and picked up himself a track penalty. And he's got a little bit of front wing damage, and Hamlin all over the back of Sienna Bob now. Is he going to use Andrew Orthodox to get past Sienna Bob? Potentially. We'll have to see what happens as they come around now. They will both get DRS, assuming that Andrew doesn't pit. I wonder if Andrew's going to try and stay out on those medium tyres or take the opportunity to put on some soft tyres and get a new front wing. Sienna Bob is getting past him now. He's using up his overtake to make the move done. Hamlin now just wants to get past as quickly as possible, try and get himself onto the DRS train of Sienna Bob in front, and he's looking up the inside now. He's going to late brake into La Source. He should have better braking on the fresher tyres, better tyres, and more aerodynamic grip. Andrew Orthodox really still fighting it back, and I think if I were Hamlin, I'd be a little bit annoyed that Andrew is fighting back a position that he knows he's surely
Still
going
has
to
the
lose in a couple of
DRS
corners.
on Sienna Bob though. Using his ERS at 60%, Sienna Bob back or down to 20%. So maybe there's something happening later on in the race.
Yeah, so that just kind of has to be for the time being. They're both closing up onto Lamb Chop ahead now. So Sienna Bob 1 and a
Lamb
bit
Chop's gone
seconds. Lamb
really
Chop gone
wide
wide.
into this corner. So Sienna Bob and Hamlin right on the back of him. And
Yep,
while
and
we
if
had
you
this fight
watch,
in the midfield, Stocks picked up a 3-second time penalty.
oh, he has, but Massimo is too far back really to make any benefit of that. So Lamb Chop in fifth, 10 seconds off the back of Air Jordan ahead. So it's unlikely that Sienna Bob or Hamlin will be fighting for anything higher than fifth place. But fifth is certainly a great haul of points, and I think they'll both want to do themselves a bit proud. I don't think they finished as highly as that before. I'll have to look down the order. Sienna Bob is 15th in the championship. Hamlin is I have no idea. But Sienna Bob is past Lamb Chop, and Hamlin will be looking to use the DRS here as they come around the source up towards or down towards Eau Rouge and then up towards Radion. He just doesn't have enough straight line speed, I think. He's using up his, or he's not using up his overtake. Oh, and
Oh,
late braking there from Hamlin,
really
and that is a
close there.
fantastic move. Absolutely brilliant. You love to see that kind of thing, and he's gotten himself past Lamb Chop. Uh, Obviously, better mechanical grip and therefore better braking. So he's used that to good effect. And now he's just looking to close up to Sienna Bob. And it really is these two, I think, are the only two that are really this close to each other on track.
One goal and Arjen fighting for the last points paying position. But the gap is a bit bigger there. Massimo also picked up a penalty.
And yeah, so has Air Jordan. So, Track leading the race by over a second. Stocks has not managed to close up into DRS range, and even if he does, it now stands that Track is the only one out of the top 8 not to have any kind of penalty. Um, Everyone from second to sixth has a 3-second penalty. Lamb Chop has 6 seconds. Andrew Orthodox has 3 seconds. And then everyone from 12th down to 17th also has 3 seconds.
And as of now, Track is the third driver. If it stays like it is now, don't want to cast a curse him. He's going to be the third driver with 2 wins under his belt in this division. Maybe
Yes, he's
spicing up the title fight a little bit more.
certainly looking for it. And if we look towards the championship, I can kind of tell you what this means towards it. So it means that Track will jump Air Jordan. He will now be ahead of him. He is how many points behind? He is 7
Hamlin's
points
gone
behind
past
Matty at the
Cinnabop.
moment, and Hamlin's gone past.
Cinnabop with a bit of oversteer there.
And yeah, it just doesn't look like Cinnabop has the speed now to catch up to him. So Hamlin obviously faring better on these softer tyres. He's now pulled a 1-second gap to Cinnabop. And I don't think really there's anything that Sienna Bob can do at the moment to just hang on. He's got quite a gap behind him. Obviously, Lamb Chop a second behind, but 3 seconds more of penalties. Andrew Orthodox a couple of seconds down, and then Lazo over 4 or 5 seconds behind the Finn.
I think their fight is not done yet, though. He's still in the DRS window.
He has
I
actually in the
think he
last
will
sector.
keep that for the main straight and then also for the camel straight. I think they will battle it out until the checkered flag.
So in the middle sector, he did close up quite a bit. So I wonder if he's got a bit more of a grippy setup, and if Hamlin's got a bit more focus towards straight line speed, because it looked like in the middle sector that Sienna Bob was just a lot faster than him. He's got DRS at the moment, and Sienna Bob, as they come through La Source, he'll have DRS all the way up the uh, all the way down the Camel Straight. And we'll see
Lost
what
a
he can
bit of
do with it.
time there.
He's not quite close enough. Not really using too much ERS. Hamlin has got a little bit more than him saved up, so he's got enough to defend. And I think Hamlin probably knows that he just needs to kind of save ERS just in case Sienna Bob is looking to overtake. Neither of them are close enough to Air Jordan ahead, and they're certainly not gaining on him quickly enough to mount an overtake.
Maybe it's time to talk about driver of the day.
Yeah, so I'm just going to mention the championship standings at the moment. So as it currently stands, Natrak is behind Air Jordan on results, I believe. He's behind Massimo by 7 points. He will jump both of them, so he will jump himself up into second place. Um, he is a whole 19 points behind Stoggs in the championship now with the 7 points that he picks up. That will close the gap to 12 points. Um, and Massey, yeah, so I think Massey will jump down into third, Air Jordan in fourth. Um, so it'll be the Stocks will keep the lead of the championship, assuming he can keep it nice and tidy. Nat Track in second, Massey in third, Air Jordan in fourth. Similar to how they are on track, but not quite. Behind that, it'll be Wrecker, who is not in the race at the moment, unless some of the guys behind can grab some points back on him. In terms of driver of the day, well, I suppose we'll have to wait because we're watching at the moment. Stoggs is now 7 tenths behind Nat Track. He's now within DRS. I think for the first time in quite a long while. Um, he will be able to potentially overtake, but not necessarily win the race because of the time penalty situation. I think Nat Track's done a pretty brilliant job. I also think uh, Massey had a really terrible qualifying, um, but made a lot of positions up very quickly, and I think that's helped him here, not to lose too much momentum in the championship
But he's
challenge.
also not gaining as much time as we'd expect from him.
No, so he
As,
is quite far
as
behind.
Hamilton-esque as that sounds, he's been dominating the last few races with a bit of a gap until the second place. But this time around in Spa, he's not doing as great. Maybe he didn't have as much time for training. I think my driver of the day will be
Oh, and
I.
Stoggs nearly hits the back of Knack Track there. And sorry to interrupt you. Stoggs was really closing up to Knack Track. And then he just kind of, it looked like Knack Track maybe braked a little bit early, or Stoggs just braked a little bit late, and he nearly ran into the back of him. Crucially, he has still kept himself within that DRS window. So he's got only 7 tenths between him and Knack Track, and the DRS opens, and you can see the gap plummeting down as he ends the straight almost, well, he is within 4 tenths now of Nat Track, and he wants to keep that up round the course until they come back to the DRS zone to see if he can make an overtaking chance. There's only a lap and a half left for these guys, so they're really going to have to, Stoggs is really going to have to go for it. Nat Track just needs to keep it clean if he wants to win this race. He doesn't really have to worry about Stoggs, but if Nat Track does pick up a penalty, then it really is game on.
Yeah, he just has to keep it clean, and I think he can even let Stocks pass. He won't make up the 3 seconds in this 1.5 lap that's still there.
And we see it's getting a little bit darker now. Are we going to see spits of rain as the race comes to an end? I hope for it. And Stoggs is very close now. So all of a sudden, Stoggs has got a lot more pace than Knacktrack. Um, he's not been as quick for a lot of this race. Let's just see quickly. Both of them are actually running their ERS quite low. So this is the chance now for Stoggs to make the move on Knacktrack. He's not going to be able to pull 3 seconds. But if Knacktrack makes a mistake, then Stoggs could potentially still pick up the win here. A lot of people in the chat are saying that Knacktrack is the clear driver of the day. I think we'll have to wait and see, to be honest. And here comes Stoggs. He's going to go for it, and Knacktrack knows there's no point defending. Just let him past, keep it nice and tidy, and he'll still pick up the race win. So Stoggs takes the lead of the race at the moment, but that will all change as they cross the checkered flag. And yeah, I'd have to say Knacktrack really has done a brilliant job. So we'll look at some of the position gains. Knacktrack has only gained 2 positions. Massey has gained 6. Hamelin and Sienna Bob both done really well. And that fight is still technically on. Sienna Bob within 7/10. But here comes Stoggs round Stavelo 2 as he heads towards Blanchimont and then towards the bus stop chicane. He's managed to pull 7/10 on Knacktrack, but it's not enough to take the win away from him. Sienna Bob closing up to Hamlin behind, but I don't know if he'll be able to do anything about it. Stoggs comes round the last chicane, crosses the line, but just behind him, Knacktrack crosses the line and wins here in Belgium. And he will take now the lead, or not the lead, but he'll take 2nd place in the championship. And here
Massive
comes
third,
Massey a little
Jordan
bit later.
in fourth. With the fastest lap in the end.
So that's an extra point for Air Jordan. That's going to be nice for him. Assuming no one else can do anything about it here. Sienna Bob and Hamelin. Sienna Bob just not able in the end to make it on Hamelin. As we see them come around the line now for the last couple of points positions. Ian ended up in 7th, Lamb Chop in 8th, Lazo 9th,
Yeah, have
and
to give it
Andrew
to
Orthodox
Arjen for this one as
10th.
driver of the day. I think the crash in qualifying on this outlap, I think, or on this first hot lap, started at the back of the grid and now in 7th place. I
Oh yeah, and he's
don't
only
think he had any penalties, so
only finished 6 seconds
I'm
off
not
his teammate.
sure.
That's incredibly impressive. Yeah, actually, I think I might have to change it as well. I might have to say
He
that
had no penalties, kept it clean from the back of
from
the
doing
grid.
0 laps in qualifying essentially, and to make that kind of inroads. So, I am certainly a contender. As Hamlin certainly a contender. Massey and Knacktrack. Would love to hear what you have to say. I think they are voting in the chat.
Driver of the day,
I'll
as
vote
per
myself.
chat, currently is Track, with Air Jordan and Arjen following close behind.
And the game will give it to Hamlin. It turns out. Interesting choice. So yeah, so the championship order turns around. We see it now all kind of close up towards the top as Knacktrack closes up to Stoggs ahead. So Stoggs, Knacktrack, and Massimo all very close to each other. And as we enter the sort of last stretch of this championship, last couple of races, and they really have a chance now to prove to us and to everyone that this is the best division in the FRS, and there's some incredible action on track. I've been Mark, and I'm joined by Instinct, and we've had a wonderful time once again.
Thank you for watching and see you guys next week. Or
Take
after
care.
the break week. I'm not sure when we race again.
Yes, 2 weeks. Take care, guys.
Bye bye.